Imagine traveling back to Nigeria in 1973. You walk into a bank, pull out one Nigerian Naira, and you could exchange it for more than $1. Fast forward to today. That same one Naira is worth only a tiny fraction of a dollar. In fact, depending on the exchange rate, you may need more than 1,000 Naira to buy just $1. So how did we get here? This is the story of the US dollar and the Nigerian Naira, a story about oil, inflation, government policy, economic shocks, and the changing balance of power between two currencies. Let's go back to 1973. Nigeria introduced a new currency, the Naira. At the time, the exchange rate was about 65 kobo for $1. That means the Naira was, on paper, worth more than the dollar. Think about that. 1 Naira could buy more than $1. For Americans watching this, it may be difficult to imagine, but currencies don't have permanent strength. Their value depends on the economic conditions behind them, and Nigeria was entering a period that would dramatically change its economy. Nigeria had discovered something incredibly valuable beneath its soil, oil. And as oil production expanded, billions of dollars flowed into the country. Nigeria's economy grew. Government revenues increased. And for a while, the Naira remained relatively strong. But there was a problem. An economy built heavily around one major commodity is vulnerable. When oil prices are high, money flows in. When oil prices fall, the money can quickly disappear. And that vulnerability would become one of the defining stories of the Naira. The Naira began to lose value against the dollar, and the gap between the two currencies started to widen. What had once been a currency worth more than the dollar was now becoming a currency that needed more and more units to buy a single dollar. The decline accelerated. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, the exchange rate had moved dramatically. The Naira went from roughly 2 to the dollar to more than 10. Then, by the mid-1990s, to more than 20. Imagine watching the price of a dollar rise from less than 1 Naira to more than 20 Naira. Then came the 1980s. Oil prices weakened. Nigeria's foreign exchange earnings came under pressure. The country faced rising economic difficulties. And in 1986, Nigeria introduced major economic reforms. The exchange rate was increasingly allowed to reflect market forces. This was a major turning point. But this wasn't simply a story about the dollar getting stronger. It was also a story about the Naira losing purchasing power. And that's an important distinction. When we say the dollar strengthened against the Naira, we are really looking at the relationship between two currencies. If one falls, the other appears stronger in comparison. Then came the 2000s. Oil prices rose. Nigeria's foreign reserves increased, and the Naira experienced a period of relative stability. At one point, the exchange rate even improved compared with the late 1990s. For a while, it looked like Nigeria had found a more stable path. But beneath the surface, the country's dependence on oil remained. And whenever the global economy changed, Nigeria's currency remained exposed. Then, in 2014, global oil prices crashed. For Nigeria, this was a huge problem. Oil was and remains one of the country's most important sources of foreign exchange. Less oil revenue meant fewer dollars flowing into the Nigerian economy. And when dollars become harder to find, the price of the dollar rises. The Naira falls. By the middle of the 2010s, the exchange rate had moved far away from where it had been just a decade earlier. The gap between the official exchange rate and the parallel market also became a major issue. And for Nigerians, the impact wasn't just a number on a financial chart. It affected the price of food, fuel, imported medicine, electronics, cars, and almost everything connected to the global economy. Then came another major turning point. In 2023, Nigeria moved toward a more market-driven foreign exchange system. The goal was to allow the Naira's value to better reflect supply and demand. But the transition came with a dramatic adjustment. The Naira depreciated sharply. And suddenly the exchange rate that many Nigerians had known for years looked very different. The dollar was now worth hundreds of Naira, and eventually more than 1,000. Today the contrast is almost unbelievable. In 1973, $1 equals about 0.65. Today in 2026, $1 equals more than 1,000 in the official market, depending on the date and exchange rate system being used. That means the number of Naira required to buy $1 has increased by thousands of percent since the currency was introduced. But here's where the story gets interesting. The question isn't simply, why is the dollar so strong? The better question is, why has the Naira become so much weaker? And the answer is complicated. It's a combination of inflation, foreign exchange shortages, oil dependence, government policies, debt, investor confidence, import dependence, and the simple reality that Nigeria needs dollars to pay for many of the goods and services it buys from the rest of the world. The big question, so what happened to the Naira? The short answer is a lot. The longer answer is a story that spans more than 5 decades. The rise of the oil economy, economic reforms, global oil crashes, inflation, currency policy, and a country still searching for a way to build an economy that is less dependent on oil and less vulnerable to the strength of the dollar. Because the story of the Naira isn't just about money. It's about the economic history of an entire nation. And the next chapter hasn't been written yet. Do you think the Naira can ever return to its former strength? Let me know what you think.